Welcome to AI on the Block, featuring Max Ledger and Allison Hashwell, presented by Evolve Blockchain.
Okay, so cryptocurrency tied to gold. Kind of strange, right? Like mixing oil and water. But that's exactly what we're diving into today with the Evolve Blockchain Trifecta. This system has three main parts: gold backing, a deflationary burn mechanism, and then there's this thing called reflections.
Yeah, it's understandable that people are a little unsure about crypto being a stable investment. I mean, gold has always been seen as a safe bet, a store of value for centuries. What Evolve's done is actually pretty cool. They've basically taken well-known ideas and combined them in a way we haven't really seen before with blockchain.
Definitely attention grabbing. Let's start with the gold backing part. A lot of people see crypto as just, digital tokens on a screen. So does backing it with actual physical gold make it more trustworthy, like a safety net for your investment?
It's more about creating like a base for the EVO token.
Yeah.
You see, gold has this inherent value. It's a real thing with a history that people get, It's not about getting rid of market ups and downs, but more about giving the token a starting point for its value. It directly addresses that volatility that scares so many people away from crypto.
So instead of my crypto crashing to zero, this gold backing is like a safety net?
Basically, yeah. Think of it this way. Each EVO token is like a tiny piece of that big gold reserve. And then as the number of tokens goes down, we'll get into how that happens in a bit, the amount of gold backing each token actually goes up. That's where this idea of a rising asset per coin comes in.
Now, that's interesting. So how does this supply reduction work? Is that where the deflationary burn mechanism comes in?
You got it. Imagine you have a rare comic book. As fewer copies exist, the more valuable each one becomes.
Right. Classic supply and demand.
Exactly. And the deflationary burn works kind of the same way. Evolve basically removes EVO tokens from circulation, so the total supply shrinks.
So fewer tokens, same amount of gold backing them, each token becomes inherently more valuable.
That's the core idea. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say there are 100 tokens, each representing 1 ounce of gold, for a total of 100 ounces. Now, if you burn 50 tokens, the remaining 50 still represent that initial 100 ounces of gold, meaning each token now represents 2 ounces, effectively doubling its inherent value.
That's a really powerful mechanism. So this burn isn't just some random feature. It's really important to how the whole trifecta system works.
For sure. It creates a system where holding on to your EVO tokens could actually make them more valuable over time.
Okay, so we've talked about gold backing for stability, burns for scarcity, but what about those reflections we mentioned? It almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, think of reflections like passive income. Just by owning EVO tokens, you automatically get a share of the fees generated within the Evolve system.
Hold on, so I'm making money just by holding on to these tokens. What's the catch?
There's no catch, really. It's just built into the system. Every time someone buys or sells EVO, a tiny percentage of that transaction gets redistributed to everyone holding the token.
So it's kind of like a dividend, rewarding me for being part of the ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it. And here's the cool part. As the token supply decreases from those burns, your reflections actually become more valuable. This is because you're getting a bigger piece of that redistribution pie.
I'm starting to see why this is so appealing. You've got the stability of gold, the scarcity from the burn mechanism, and then this built-in reward system with those reflections.
Precisely. It's that combination of elements that makes the foundation of the Evolve Blockchain Trifecta so interesting.
That does sound like a pretty good deal for investors.
All right.
But does it really work that way? Does this trifecta really solve the usual problems with crypto, or is it just too good to be true?
That's the big question, right? What's really fascinating here is that Evolve is kind of changing how we think about cryptocurrency. Take the gold backing, for example. We talked about it as a stabilizing force, but let's dig a little deeper into why that is. So historically, people have often seen gold as a safe haven asset, something that tends to hold its value, especially during those times when the economy is uncertain. Just think about it. Gold has been through countless recessions and depressions over thousands of years. And by connecting EVO to gold, the creators want to give their token that same feeling of security, that sense of historical resilience.
So it's not just about having something tangible backing it. It's also about tapping into how people see gold, that psychological and economic weight it carries.
Exactly. Now add the deflationary burn mechanism on top of that. With each transaction, some EVO tokens are permanently taken out of circulation. Let's say there's a 1% transaction fee on every EVO trade, for example. 0.5% of that fee could be used to buy back EVO tokens from the market, which are then destroyed or burned. This constantly reduces the total supply of EVO, which should theoretically increase the value of those remaining tokens.
It's like a constant pressure shrinking the supply. And of course, we can't forget about those reflections, giving a continuous incentive to hold on to EVO tokens.
Exactly. It sets up this system where holding your tokens is rewarded.
Seems pretty strategic.
Yeah.
But how does this compare to, say, traditional investments or even other crypto projects?
That's an important question. So traditional investments, like stocks or bonds, often involve intermediaries and can come with various fees and regulations.
Not to mention the paperwork.
Exactly. Evolve aims to simplify investing through this trifecta. The idea is to make it more direct, potentially more rewarding, by cutting out some of those external factors.
Less bureaucracy, more direct involvement. But what about other cryptocurrencies? So many of them make big promises, but how is Evolve's approach different?
That's a key point. How many cryptocurrencies can actually say they're backed by a tangible asset like gold?
Good point. It seems like most cryptocurrencies are just riding the waves of market sentiment and speculation.
You got it. And this gold backing is a major difference for Evolve. It brings in a level of stability that you don't usually see in the world of crypto. Combine that with the deflationary burns and reflections, and you've got a system that's built from the ground up to benefit those who believe in its long-term potential.
So it's less about quick profits and more about a strategic long-term approach.
That's a good way to put it. The system encourages holding on to your tokens, which should, in theory, contribute to the stability and sustainability of the entire ecosystem.
It all sounds very promising, but the real test is in how it actually plays out. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a million-dollar question. We'll have to wait and see. But what we can say is that the Evolve Blockchain Trifecta is a compelling case study in innovative blockchain economics. It challenges how we think about things and pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible in the crypto world. And that in itself is really exciting to see.
It really is. It's nice to see a project that seems to be more about thoughtful design and a long-term vision rather than hype and just making money fast. So we've gone over the separate parts of this trifecta: gold backing, deflationary burns, reflections, all cleverly designed to potentially create a more reliable and rewarding cryptocurrency experience. But let's zoom out for a second and think about the bigger picture. So we've explored how the Evolve blockchain trifecta works: the gold backing, the deflationary burns, the reflections, those parts all working together to try to make a more reliable and rewarding system in the crazy world of crypto. But taking a step back, what are the bigger implications of this whole approach?
Well, it makes you wonder, could this be like a sneak peek into the future of all cryptocurrency? Imagine if digital assets were always linked to something real and tangible, where scarcity is built in, and holding those assets just generates passive income automatically.
It's a cool idea, right? Blending this cutting-edge blockchain tech with the stability and history of traditional assets like gold.
Exactly. It's all about bridging that gap, addressing those worries that have kept a lot of people and big institutions out of the crypto game. Now, whether this specific model becomes the standard, well, who knows? But it's definitely a thought-provoking step in a new direction.
It definitely gives us a lot to think about. So for our listeners out there, maybe some of you are newer to cryptocurrency, or maybe you're a little hesitant after seeing how much it can fluctuate. What would you say is the biggest takeaway from looking at this Evolve blockchain trifecta?
You know, I think it really highlights how important it is to have constant innovation and evolution in the crypto world. It's not about chasing the next big pump and dump scheme or trying to get rich overnight. It's about finding real, lasting solutions to the problems that have always been there with crypto, especially the volatility and the lack of inherent value. The way Evolve has put together this gold backing, the deflationary burns, those reflections, it shows that they're trying to build a more stable and maybe even a fairer system.
That's a great point. It's about looking past the hype and asking ourselves, what do we want the future of crypto to look like? Do we want a future built on speculation and flash-in-the-pan trends? Or do we want one rooted in stability, real value, and sustainable long-term growth?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a question we all have to wrestle with as we explore this exciting, constantly changing world of cryptocurrency.
Couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Evolve blockchain trifecta, we'll leave you with this. Could this system, with its unique approach to creating value, to scarcity, to rewarding its users, could this be a sign of things to come in the future of finance? Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of blockchain technology.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to join Max and Allison next episode as they dig deeper into the different facets of Evolve Blockchain. This has been AI on the Block.